We'll have ourselves the blue Protoss player, Firefly.
And spawning over in the top left as our red Protoss, it is Nice. Nice is a guy that's really, crept out of the shadow of Haas and really kind of made himself a well-known name, like when it comes to players from that region in particular. And when I say region, that country, I think he absolutely holds the flag now as like the most solid player that we've had. Like, he's just good across the board. And when you tune into a Nice game, I really feel that you're going to get at least some good quality StarCraft out of him. It's not like a big flop at any point. Yes, there can be throws here and there, but it is one of those where I know that he's a good, solid Protoss, and if he takes down Firefly or vice versa, the other one very much deserved it.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's, honestly, it's what all of these players have just been so fun to watch in Asia, especially, but Firefly's been great. Nice has been actually, like I say, a little bit maybe not on quite the great scenario because he has just had that upward trend beforehand, so I expected him to be cruising a bit more up until this point. But, I mean, you put these two together against one another, and I kind of really feel like you could see almost a little bit of anything happen in this. Like, this really feels like a series where, in a way, I wouldn't even be shocked if one guy found a 3-0, but I would be shocked to see it be 5 games of epics, although I do think we're maybe going to see some StarCraft on the lighter side of things. I don't think we're going to see, like, super long macro PvPs, much more those aggressive ones.
No, yeah, like, Firefly, his series about Oliveira, what made it so wonderful, and this is something that I really respect about a lot of players, but especially the ones that do it, he was doing a lot of regular things, but then making it look like it's normal, but it's absolutely not. So it would be like he'd take a third base, but not in the obvious location, like across the map. And you can look at that and be like, cheesy move, but it was every game something like it looked normal. And unless you're over scouting everywhere, then you have no idea what's going on. And he made it so hard for Oliveira to know what he was actually playing against. He's like, yeah, I'm all in this 2-base guy, or rather, I'm getting all in by this 2-base guy. And he's like, no, I'm on 3-base macroing up like a crazy mofo, but I'm making it look like an all-in. And it was just constantly tricking him. And Protoss for me is a race that's very much about variety. That's its strength. So I'm very looking forward to see what Firefly brings. And the 2 Adept into 2 Sentry opening, not something we see super often, and he's going to take the earlier Nexus here.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because you put the pressure on with the Adepts, but then you have the scouting abilities of the Sentries, and it does mean that you're typically going to expand, because you don't have the gas attack, because you built the Sentries. It's a little dangerous in a way, right? Because it kind of feels as though if your opponent goes like 4 to 6 Stalkers and pokes at the front, you do not have firepower. You have no damage output, really, so it's a little scary, but for what Nice is doing, it's actually going to be spot on. As Nice sees this, he'll probably be like, you're kind of getting away with something here, buddy. And that's something which I think Firefly is going to be very happy with. So, yeah, interesting start, that's for sure. It's been a really wild way to even just have these first 3.5 minutes, because we're on an expansion from each of them, but Firefly is definitely just faster. You mentioned the faster Nexus, but also now the faster Twilight Council as well. So this is all benefiting, and he's going to continue to have hallucination scouts. There is a pylon warping into Adepts from Nice. We'll see how he does trying to get some harassment with those.
This could definitely be spicy. I mean, I think Nice is clued that there's not much firepower in what Firefly is doing here, and he's going to try and take advantage of it, but not with everything that he has. But Firefly, quick to react here.
Yep, gets the wall off up, so nothing going to happen there. We do have the similar 2 Adepts. We're thinking about making a move from Firefly, but they don't go anywhere either. As Firefly is going to try and find those Adepts. Actually, he comes down here. He does see them. Dangerous, though, because 4 Adepts will one-shot a Sentry, so take 2 down. That's already a win, and I mean, you lose this Sentry as well. There's any potential future force fields gone. There's any potential future hallucinations or Guardian shields, and now you're getting probes as well. What a play from Nice.
This is super sick from Nice. He might even get out of there with the last Adept as well, which, that's just a threat on the field that you have to worry about. Then he can get another Adept and just join the forces. And he's actually feeling quite confident here. He's going for a Dark Shrine behind this and a Robo. That has definitely flipped the game on its head. Nice takes a solid eco lead here.
Yeah, a few workers. I mean, for being a little bit behind, he was the one that had to do something. So now he takes a couple workers lead. He has the Dark Shrine coming up too. And if you're kind of in this position as Firefly, you're like, okay, cut a couple of corners, right? Let's get back on track. So the Robo may, if it does come down, be delayed. He may just not go for one for a long time. And that's where DTs are just a win condition.
I love how Nice is playing this, by the way. The hallucination just kind of saw the move out. And look at those adepts coming in now. It's like he's absolutely reading this game beautifully. He's knowing what his opponent's doing and just reacting to it. And, you know, this kind of chaos here that's happening, I think this just delays your Robo even more. So, again, beautiful play out of the Nice here.
Yep, I love what he's doing as we see the Adepts continue to cross. A couple more probes taking damage. We are going to shade up the high ground. Stalkers will be there to hit those Adepts and to make sure not much else is going to come out of those for a couple of moments.
Blink into the main.
Okay, love that on the other side. Yeah, it gets aggressive. So in we go, but we're moments away from the Dark Shrine, and the DT actually shows up here already to swipe defensively, but that means the DT across the map would not actually, you know, be happening or go kind of unnoticed, and that means the Robo has time to come down, and this is a massive turnaround from Firefly as well. Oh my god.
I'm not 100% on how I feel about using the DTs defensively there, just because that Robo started as soon as the DT started hitting. Like, if he had a pylon somewhere on the map, like, you know, you could literally be calling GG right now, but he has time. But where is that DT right now? It's only one as well. It's not even the biggest committal.
I mean, nice. I think because he had to use a defense. I mean, he had nothing on the map to, like, warp in a DT aggressively, so that was obviously part of the issue, but yeah, I feel as though he's just kind of not being a believer either because of this, so yeah, the DT doesn't get as much done. Firefly gets away with murder because there's only just now an observer starting. You think how long the Dark Shrine's been up. If there was one proxy pylon, 2 DTs across the map, this game is done. But that in the end is not going to be the case. And Firefly really does just get away with that. So unfortunate for Nice, does not manage to capitalize on what is essentially a freebie.
Yeah, Nice was definitely respecting his opponent too much there with thinking he probably had detection way earlier. Because, like, if he knew what we knew, he'd definitely have gone more gung-ho about getting DTs here, there, and everywhere. But Warp Prism is still not completely down and out. Like, DTs are annoying, they're a nuisance, they can force potentially cannons here, there, and everywhere. And he's getting nice scouting information constantly, and looks like he's going to try and sync up an attack here at the front and within the base. But Firefly is nicely situated.
Yeah, he is put in a good spot as he is maybe going to lose a sentry again. Firefly is just the sentry loser at this game. As his third sentry going down. A couple more Stalkers warp in. Obviously charge from both, +1 attack from both, and most importantly, we're heading into that Temple Archives on the side of Firefly, so he's going to get some Archons up and running nice and quickly. His opponent going to kind of follow in the same suit, so we're kind of heading into what I said I wasn't really expecting out of these two, which is that more kind of macro-focused game. So yeah, exciting way to get going.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, you know, they're not sticking around on Zealot Stalker like we saw a lot of the PvPs yesterday between Christian and Skillis. They're absolutely teching up a little bit, getting ready to take his 4th base. It's nice feeling like he has a bit more control over the map, even though they're both sat at home. He's the one that's poised to launch some aggression, and maybe he sees that little blur next to his Warp Prism. I think so. He's been very, very patient with it, and rightly so. Firefly has been very, very well prepared for this blinking in the main, if you see, with those Stalkers.
Yep, he is making sure that he's just ready, he's set, he's ready to catch as well. The Stalker's actually going to hang back. If the Prism actually goes in, I mean, right now it's just working around the edges. If it goes in, the Stalker's could blink for it, and that Prism is dead. Maybe he didn't know about it.
So I love what Firefly did there, because, you know, some players, they'll put their Stalkers right on the edge, but you're not utilizing the fact that you can just blink under. Like, vision is power, and your opponent moves in, and he's like, oh, the Stalker's at the edge? Yeah, I'm not going to go in. So, nice little play there by Firefly. Yeah,
different way of handling it. Nicely done, as you just have ourselves a Prism, the +2 attack coming in. The Stalkers go to the side, they will cancel that. And otherwise,
was that nice putting down a pylon there?
Like, it feels like it, right? I don't know what else it would have been. Unless he cancelled something himself. But yeah, he was shooting something, man. So I think so. I was trying to figure it out myself. It was an interesting one.
If that was a nice pylon inside his natural, 9 minutes into the game where we get it up to 4 bases, that was the most ballsy attempt at a proxy pylon ever. I like it though, but we've got units in the main base. They're getting recalled out. He's taken down the 4th base. Nice. He got caught a little bit off guard here, I feel, from Firefly just doing a standard move out.
Yep, no, absolutely. As Firefly just gets across, hits one place, hits the other, and is going to be able to do very well there. As the rest of this army from Nice now coming through the center of the map, making its way over to the right-hand side. Look a little bit more to see just what else is happening here.
Yeah, nice feeling like he has to do something, like chase down his opponent and get some damage done. Firefly's army's looking stocky, though. Like, I know there's some Immortals in the mix and nice, but I think I prefer Firefly's squad here. And he's going to have, like, more Archons in the mix. Nice has a good number of Zealots. Like, Archons are definitely going to reign supreme in these fights. Firefly suffering from a supply block, though, which is one thing that won't help him bolster his forces.
Nope, definitely not, as our army continues to gather together. We just have ourselves the... so, excuse me. The extra Zealots warping in. I mean, Nice is going to start pushing through the center of the map. The cannon and the battery continuing up. Nice heading down towards the bottom right-hand side. So looking to see what it is that we can do here. Let's just get ourselves moving about for the moment.
That was the only observer on the field.
Okay.
So even if this does go awry for Firefly, he at least can defend with DTs. But wow, he's chasing that army. I mean, with minimal number of Stalkers, loses the Warp Prism as well. Firefly's buying some sick time, and now he's split up the army here, Wardy. This is beautiful.
Love the move in from the bottom side, because, yeah, now he's going to essentially take this as a fight where he can hold off half the army up the left ramp, and then he fights the army on the right side only, and it's going to work wonders. Now, he is going to start getting swarmed from the Zealots from the left. Can he take enough of those out with his Archons? Feels like Firefly's just running shy of numbers in the very end here, Ben, because otherwise it was a very cool move. He does have some reinforcements showing up. Is it enough? Micro with the Prism is a big deal, man. The Archons on the right are still going. Extra round of Zealots might just about be the end of this.
Oh, that Warp Prism's going to try and get a Warp in here, and I think it's going to make it. And
nice.
oh, that's a lot of Zealots joining the field, and Firefly takes a good 30 supply lead here. GG.
Yeah, that was actually very well done. You're right, that Prism coming in, getting an additional Warp in was a pretty huge deal altogether, wasn't it? It just added so much to that in those final moments, and that is going to be Firefly opening up with that first game victory. Kind of a wild one. Cool move at the very end. Very nicely done. And, yeah, very ready to see what the heck the rest of this series looks like. Because this started off interestingly. It kept on being interesting. That's the kind of StarCraft we like to see. And it's the kind of StarCraft I expect to see as well out of Asia, you know, right? It's like a little bit different, but very fun, interactive games. Great start of the day, man. This PvP kicked off in a great way. Love that flanking fight. I can't get over that one at all.
I really, like, every time I've watched Firefly play, even if he's not necessarily winning, like there was one game that he did a Void Ray all in, and then he got supply blocked on one base, and it was, you know, it was a disaster. But besides that, I think it's been really cool play out of him. Like, that was just a little Stalker hit squad in the middle, caught the Observer quickly, and then he does this little ring around the rosy, gets the other, gets the Warp Prism, and then it's like, all right, then the flank comes in. It's just... It looks smart. He's utilizing his units how they should be used, like the mobility of that, the strength of everything else, and just navigating the map. He's playing it really smart, and yeah, he got himself out of trouble that game against those DTs upon seeing them. But yeah, he's just an exciting Protoss to watch these days, I feel.
No, I'm with you, man. He is a very exciting Protoss to keep your eye on. As we're going to go Golden Aura game 2. This is actually one of the maps I could imagine we have a pretty big game on, simply for the fact that it's got a lot of defensive capabilities. Like, moving up the ramps on this map is pretty tough a lot of the time, so kind of feeling like that may be a factor here. Maybe something we'll have to keep our eyes open on as we'll get ready to go in just a moment. We're just waiting on, I believe, Firefly to relog. I think sometimes these guys got to reset their VPNs between games and stuff, so just takes a little bit to get going here on the Asian matches, but shouldn't be too long at all before we do resume.
Yeah, there's been like a few crazy PvPs in this region, like Jieshi against Cyan. I don't know, did you cast with me that day or see the games at all? Either way, they were very... Yeah, so, you know, you've called Aragfire Robo Kid. Like, Jieshi is Robo Kid of PvP, like 100%. Like, it's the only... In 5 games, he didn't divvy it up one time. It was just 3-gate Robo, go, go, go. Like, one Immortal, one Warp Prism, and he just attacked. And, like, Cyan was 2-0 down. But then Cyan just started going like Adept Void Ray against him, realizing like, hey man, you're only doing this strat, and just eventually won 3-2. It was one of the most like frustrating series I've ever seen, because you could see that Cyan was like evolving as the series went on. And Jieshi just he just found this brick wall, and he was just like thumping his head against it continuously. He's like, why isn't it working anymore? And it's like, okay, maybe it's the strat or maybe it's execution. And he fell for the latter. He was like, oh, it must be my execution, man. Like, normally this works all the time. But, like, it was so frustrating. So it's very nice to see. some decent openings from these guys, and I'm looking forward to see how they evolve to each other as well, because that opening from Firefly didn't work out, let's be real. Like, those 4 Adepts getting like the 3 sentries and then 5 probes afterwards, that was a lot of value.
That was a lot, yeah. We've had some actually just in general crazy PvPs in this event, and I think especially in Asia we've had some really interesting ones, especially because we're maybe more accustomed to seeing the European PvP, and you know, it gets weird when Max Packs plays, but otherwise we kind of know what the guys like to do. But in Asia, they have this whole approach which is just, well, it's kind of interesting, you know, like I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a 2 Adept 2 Sentry kind of expansion like Firefly just did, you know. Probably have, but it's definitely on the rarer side of things, you know, like, that's not a usual combination, but god, did it work perfectly against what Nice did. There's definitely scenarios where you end up in trouble doing what he just did, but in this case, it was the absolute perfect build to just give him a net advantage straight away. Yeah, very cool stuff as we get ready for our next game, as players are just readying up and going. Firefly had a couple of issues, but that is all resolved now, and we're going to be heading straight on into game number 2.
Yeah. I always liked Nice. I think he's always been this solid Protoss, and you know, I know Haas has a lot of fans, and I've always felt that Nice is more my style of player, even though Haas can make me giggle like a schoolgirl. But yeah, he's absolutely going to have to step it up a little bit here, just because the player on the opposite side has been dishing out the herd. But spawning over in the bottom right-hand side of Golden Aura, it is the red Protoss, it is Nice.
Up left, our blue Protoss player is going to be Firefly from Platinum Heroes.
Oh, he's actually playing for Platinum.
Yeah, Firefly got picked up by Platinum Heroes, I think just during the WTL off season. That's
I mean, that's
for
awesome for them.
Especially a team that's been very EU focused. Kind of cool to see them branch out into other regions, especially, you know.
Absolutely, and I mean, Platinum Heroes had some pretty surprising results last season as well. Like, who's on the roster? It's like DNS Showdown, right?
Yeah, DNS Showdown. I think Goblin's on there as well. Honestly, they kind of sound like a bit of a Protoss super team at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ravi's behind that somehow. You know, that is a very Protoss centric team. But no, that's really cool, because like they had that very surprise win against Shopify Rebellion last season, like one of the last games, and yeah, they actually did very well, so very cool to see that Firefly is playing for them. This game so far, both opening up with the very, very standard double gate on the high ground. This isn't one of those ramp natural maps, so that absolutely makes sense from both of them, and we'll get to see what both of them do start deviating with when the cybernetics cores are done.
Yep. No, absolutely. Cybercore's finishing will obviously give us a little bit of deviation in the PvP, so waiting to see what that tech is going to be. You expect obviously a lot of Twilight Councils, a lot of Blink plays, etc. So, see how that's going to be looking. Let's just have our probes nibbling around then. A few more moments, like I was talking about, this map just very defensive. All the bases on high ground, all of them have like a ramp up into them. So, this really is the map where we kind of saw a bit of a longer game last time, but maybe a little bit more of that again. There's a bit of a possibility here as Probe just chases probes, and there is 2 Adepts versus 2 Stalkers already, so even the first units are going to be different right from the beginning.
Yeah, Firefly definitely wanting to go out on the map and scout a little bit. Adepts can just make your opponent feel a bit uneasy, if you will, having to do those blocks continuously or blocking with your own Adept Shade kind of thing. But yeah, Nice seems to be the guy that likes his Stalkers early on, and I respect that. And maybe we'll see another Sentry from him, making it the same. But Firefly, getting that knowledge of what he's actually up against, and actually Nice with the exact same thing. Just a sacrificial pylon, slows everything down, and lets you at least know what you're up against.
Yeah. Let's have ourselves the couple of
Stargate
Depths breakdown pylon. Breaking out. Sturdy.
So, I'm going for a Stargate this game. So, very much a different kettle of fish, as they say in England, Wardy.
Yeah, a different kettle of fish. It is a, definitely got a little bit of difference to it. Definitely not quite what we're used to seeing from that last game, but it does obviously make sense across the course of a PvP. Stargate, something which allows you to take map control. Especially, you know, you've got Stalkers first, though, so you have kind of not got the fastest Stargate on the go, but still getting that cannon pretty quickly. You'll be able to harass, get the Oracle out, keep map control with it. You will have a faster blink to go up against from your opponent. We'll see if that's something we can overcome at all.
Yeah, aye. It will be an Oracle. That was like the most obvious choice, eh? I know we saw a lot of the Stargate shenanigans with Mass Phoenix over in Showtime versus MaxPax, but very, very different openings here. Far more standard, at least for most Protosses out there, when a Protoss or a PvP does not involve MaxPax. Firefly will be moving quite quickly into that Twilight Council. And Nice is first Oracle across the map, but going for 2 Oracles, so almost prepared to meet a shield battery, and maybe very prepared to deal damage. Oh, the Phoenix actually spotted that Oracle on the way across. That's a huge deal for Firefly.
Yeah, great little scout, just great bit of information to pick up on now. The Stalker's already in position, just take a step into that Oracle as well. That's a great denial. And this hallucination going to get in, so Firefly is going to be able to take notice of just how fast he is on the Twilight versus his opponent. So he knows he's going to have a blink timing, and that may just enable Firefly to make some choices as to how aggressive he wants to be, how much he's going to commit, if he really tries to send it across the map or so. So there should definitely be some choices there that we'll see some repercussions of at some point soon.
Yeah, I always, like, when I used to play PvP quite some time ago, whenever I was in this position as the Oracle guy, I always felt so timid, so scared. So I'm like, damn, he's just going to have more Stalkers than me. Like, this sucks. But the amount of damage that they can threaten, and the fact that Protosses are getting so good with stasis wards these days, just putting them here, there, and everywhere, like the way that they're positioned here, they're blocking both potential thirds, which Firefly will spot, and I believe that does not quite block where the Nexus does eventually go, so that's nice. But Nice is up to no good, and yet again with that Dark Shrine here. Oh, look at Firefly, he's actually going for this side.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Wardy.
He's going to try and dive by as the Dark Shrine is about halfway done. The Oracle's overhead, just going to push the Adepts back. The Adepts threatening the Shade will not get in. Yeah, he does go through that base down the right side there, so things is kind of getting a little bit fun. Stasis, finally get a Nexus down. Meanwhile, the Oracles do find the Adepts. They're going to clean up. Blink about to be done. That might be some dead Oracles because they've gone quite far forward. Now they're just going to slip away, huh? So both of them stay alive. Blink obviously ready, but not sure how much we'll get out of it. With Dark Shrine finishing, though, maybe that'll have some impact. Robe was finishing from Firefly. Really depends how many DTs he gets in the bases, how quickly he gets them split up.
Yeah, he's got a really nice warping pylon on that left side here. Like a really nice one. Firefly, this is going to get very chaotic very quickly. But Firefly, the bell's got to start ringing here because why doesn't his opponent have a third?
Yeah.
Why has he got nothing here? There's something going on, Firefly, and they're coming in.
Yeah, the DTs are making their move. They're on into the natural one, up into the main base, so we head it off, we get it going. DT continues into the main, is going to go swiping through a couple more of those probes, so damage is being dealt. That's quite a few probes already going down on both sides of this, so, you know, Firefly does well across the map, but obviously the DT eventually defends. He will now clean up the DTs as he gets the Observer out, who comes out in a better position. Well, Nice is ahead on workers, but Firefly still has a pretty sizable army lead. If he can be quick about rebuilding his, work account, still like it for Firefly, but I think Nice will have enough time to obviously get the army up. The big benefit from Firefly is still having a third versus no third, and he's actually back across the map now with an Observer available. You can't push this back with DT, so actually Firefly's going to be very quick to keep this going. Oh,
I like Firefly's position. He's got so many more Stalkers here, doesn't he? And I mean, yeah, damage is going to get done. Nice is doing what he can, but I mean, not having a third, he's so trapped in here. Nice play with Oracles, by the way. Come in handy there.
I actually thought the Observer would be with Firefly, by the way, but he was actually only on the one Observer and it was back at home, so he still couldn't fully commit on the other side. But yeah, being up a base is a huge deal, and he should be able to get a cancel on his opponent's third. That happens immediately, so that's still a benefit. He just needs to properly sharpen up this defense against the DTs. He doesn't really want to let this go any further at this point, as the Stalker goes down as well. So again, it's just a little bit chaotic because Firefly's still fighting on the other side as well.
Everywhere we're looking, units are dying. Like, these poor Stalkers on both sides kind of forgot to blink, but it's because so much is happening. Like, that Oracle coming in quite handy there just to be an extra thorn in the side of his opponent. And these DTs absolutely have kept Nice in this game. 49 pros versus 38, but no third base. I still prefer Firefly's situation, especially given that he's got the Forge upgrades already online and second one going. But yeah, Nice is absolutely still in this. And again, the Oracle, bloody hell.
Oracle just does not stop showing up, Ben, as he comes in. He's going to take down a cannon here in the next couple of moments. Just going to work on through that.
Big fight, big fight. Huge fight on this side here happening. Green battery overcharge is called, and you see so many low health Stalkers from Firefly over here. Like, he has absolutely been battling and bruising his way and maybe feeling the pressure massively. Beautiful warp in here to deal with this final DT. I don't know how many DTs have gone down, but supplies are still fair close between them. Army count, let's see, 19 Stalkers for Firefly, 10 for Nice. If he consolidates his forces, I mean, Nice has to keep slinging dirt across the map, I feel.
Worst case as well as that cannon I was so excited about dying didn't even die, so just coming back to it as we do have Firefly. Yeah, I think his position just so good. Up the upgrade, he's gonna move up here. Super battery's obviously on cooldown from Nice. We just saw it activate as you mentioned in the last big fight. As we do have our Stalkers pushing forward, a couple of Zelds come through, and we just have ourselves a blink off, but it's actually a good one for Nice because he's got a little bit of a better concave. He's just got more Stalkers shooting at any single point in time. That's going a decent amount of the way. We blink back forwards in return of that, and we just kind of look at each other, figuring out what the next move is. Still got that +2 attack coming up on the Forge from Firefly as well, so that's coming in the next couple of moments.
Yeah, this moment here is kind of like a nice bit of breathing room for Nice, given that he has got the third down, has been able to spread out those probes, but it's not necessarily going to get easier before it gets a little bit more tricky here. Firefly's doing the gateway explosion, and he's got +2 for the moment being against 0, and he's just going to chonk him.
Yeah. He is going to catch this Immortal, by the way. That's a great grab right at the front, just as it spawned as well, so really no value gotten from that. Maybe a shot or two, but nowhere near what you were looking for, as these Stalkers will re-engage in once again. Nice is kind of getting into the worst position now, as we do not have Super Battery for another few seconds. Firefly will just blink back. Apparently that's enough for the moment. As we get on out of there, a couple more of those batteries continue to build on up.
Nice has done such a good job of surviving, like, amidst all of this, because every time I've looked at the units, it's like Firefly had like double. he did, and I still think Firefly's in a good spot here, given that, you know, his tech that he's getting online is a little bit better than Nice's. He's also committing to the charge massively, and if his opponent has already been kind of throwing out Immortals, which he's seen, charge is going to work wonders against that, and he's moving up to his 4th base quite a bit before Nice will feel ready to.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually going for it now.
Yep, 4th base is a... I mean, that's the big deal, right, to me, because you get the 4th base, maybe you get 2 more gates, and you start spamming a few charge lots in here. It's going to be very difficult for Nice to keep trading. Nice has done well because a lot of the time his Stalker's been able to do well. Instant kill on that 4th, by the way. If these Zelds get up in front and tank from Firefly, he can do great, as we actually blink in there for a Stalker. Very aggressive from Nice. That's going to be bad with the Zelds starting to come through, but there's not enough of them here just yet. There's the Prism. He's going to get a warp in toward this fight, and Firefly already has a supply lead. That Immortal will be hitting most of these Zealots as well. We blink forward to make sure it goes down. The slow Zealot warp in from Nice. Obviously, they will just take a long time to actually engage through, and that's the issue, is Firefly can kite back and continue to find value throughout these trades.
Very smart, not being too rambunctious there, running into that green battery overcharge. He just waits it out, and he's like, you know what? Let's just get another warp in and then go, go, go. Wait till it's gone. I like the patience.
So that's the Stalkers over the left side again. We'll just engage through. A couple of these Zelds going down very quickly. The Stalkers will continue to fight. We are just going to keep pushing our way to this left-hand side. Stalkers will blink back a moment. We get rid of an Observer, so his own Observer can stay overhead nicely. Obviously, when your opponents had DTs in the game, that's nice to know. You don't have to worry too much about it, but honestly, Firefly is still failing to break through here, and I gotta say credit to Nice, because now he's going to even up the upgrades for a few moments again, and he's just not dying. Of course, the issue still being Firefly has a 4th base. It's something that's obviously going to help him big time eventually. We'll see as this Prism tries to move over to the right, but that's going to be Stalkers getting a catch. Apparently not, though. The Stalkers will not kill the Prism just yet.
I mean, the nice thing for Firefly is every fight that happens, he's on 4 bases against 3. Like, Nice is just wearing himself out, right? And Firefly being here, every moment he's here is a good moment for him. Every moment he can get some chaos done, it's good for him. He's winning the eco game, and here, the chaos is just going to start coming from the inside out.
You know, this is maybe what he was missing, the ability to just drop a Prism in the main base, still play with Stalkers out in the front. These are the things which Nice is going to really struggle to deal with. Starting to lose power to his pylons. He's not even going to stick around. He's just going to say GG, and he's ready to do so. This game is definitely heading in Firefly's favor, and in this case, it is going to go to a 2-0 Firefly lead. Playing it nicely, Ben. He is doing very well for himself so far. He has been all-time favorite against Nice in the matches they've played, but generally it's close. They're 30-26 in maps all-time. Nice is just not quite showing that right now. He's not quite getting into the positions which do well. I mean, first game he missed a massive opportunity with DTs. The second game, yeah, like the DTs actually got something done, but he took so much damage at the same time. It was a bit of a crazy game where stuff was happening all over, and you said at one point, like, everywhere we look, a unit dies. And that was very true. But then Firefly definitely seemed to handle that better, and he just had the setup because he had the faster third and everything. This really went such a long way to helping him out.
Yeah, Nice definitely made it super chaotic. Like, I almost forgot about the Oracles when, like, they came in with the DTs, and he definitely made it tricky for Firefly. Like, he got something like a 10-15 probe lead, but Firefly kept launching the counterattack to kind of whittle him down a little bit, delaying that third for such a long time as well, and it was a cool PvP. Like, it was very cool. They were both working with different tools early on. You know, the stalkers, the base units against the more nifty, tricky units that are liking to deal with the economy, such as the DTs and Oracles. And yeah, it was a real slobber knocker. And those kind of PvPs are very, very fun to see. Third map between these two will be Site Delta. And I believe we're moving back to Korea between these two. So, yeah, switching servers. We have to wait a little bit of time for Firefly.
Yeah, obviously, the two options on the Asian server are Korea and Taiwan. So, Taiwan's obviously favorable to Nice. Korea is kind of just I guess, kind of like an off-server for each. So, we kind of rotate one to the other. So, that's what we are doing right now as we just wait for Firefly. Like I said, I think he has to swap a VPN just for better connection to each of the servers. So, it just takes a moment or so extra between these games. Site Delta, like you mentioned, coming up next, and Nice really has to start pulling out the bag. Would you like to see Nice get even more aggressive? Like, we've obviously seen both games so far be pretty quick. Hey, look, I want to expand. Do you think that's a cool idea again, or is it time to just ramp up the aggression, or is it even time for Firefly to do that? Because, hey, he's up 2-0. Maybe if Nice wants to keep expanding, it's time for him to just go kill him and make this series nice and simple for himself.
It's a tricky one, because, like, so far, it feels like Nice is kind of committing himself to, I don't want to play the straight up even game where we're both doing the same thing and who does it better. Because Firefly feels quite good about just, hey, I'm going to go into Blink Stalkers. Not that he's doing it in the same way. He's doing it different, like what units he's making and stuff. But I don't know, man. Because if you're confident with your style, if you go into the straight up games, and maybe Nice feels good about that, maybe he doesn't. I don't think mechanically he seems outdone, though. Like, these Blink Stalker fights, he's handling himself very nicely with less units. So I do think he can just kind of go with the flow, play it nice and calm, and see where it goes. Honestly, he's a better Protoss than I, isn't he? So, yeah, whatever he chooses to do, I think probably the right call.
In the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player from the Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice.
And spawning over in the bottom right-hand side, representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah, I mean, if Coffee gets a cool name like Coffee, then we gotta go with it, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, Coffee, we have any reasons to say Coffee, you know?
I mean, Coffee is just a cool name, dude. As soon as I knew that I was casting with you today, and I was like, are we casting Coffee? I'm just a happy boy now. By the way, first map that we've seen between these two with a ramp, and they're both meeting the challenge of the, hey, one gate expand on the low ground. I like that. So when you ask me, like, what should Nice do, this does show confidence to me that he doesn't, if he needs to do something urgent, like, if you know that your opponent can do this and you're doing this, that makes me think, like, okay, Nice absolutely knows he's still in this series, and rightly so. We've seen many reverse sweeps in this region thus far.
Yeah, 2-0 has definitely not been a certainty in this just this season of ESL in general across all the regions. I feel like we've seen a few of them reverse sweeps happening, so... Now, Cybercore's coming up. There is a Zealot on the way. Nice just wants to make sure he doesn't get blocked from expanding for too long. Firefly will do the same. There is a world in which obviously you can just not expand here, and then you do just add 3 gates and just commit across the map and try and kill your opponent's expansion. But again, the typical idea is that's going to be more difficult to do because of the fact you're playing on this map, which is, well, you know, with a ramp. So pushing up into your opponent is always going to be more difficult. That's why the expansions are somewhat an expectation right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just very curious whether this goes into those Phoenix shenanigans, because that would be a totally different spice of PvP between these two. And honestly, I don't know who I'd favor. Like, right now, I've really enjoyed the brand of Protoss that Firefly's been doing. It's just been smart Protoss, and the last Protoss that I felt was showing me very, very smart Protoss was Max Pax. And I mean, look where he is now. He's doing very well for himself. But yeah, different ways of doing the blocks as well here. Like, they're both scouted, both going for the same build, but Firefly has been the one that's committed to attack, whereas Nice, nothing yet.
Nope, nothing at all. That Stargate about to finish. That means Nice probably just wants to expand and then go... I feel like maybe even just... I mean, whatever you do is a little interesting because it feels fairly aggressive, as we are just going to have a little lag spike right there. Hopefully it's just a little blip on one side and it's just gone, as they don't seem to want to stop, so we'll continue through. So Phoenix comes up. Yeah, there's the Twilight Council. So he's just going to be... It's a little greedy because it's going to take a long time for this Twilight Council to kick into play, right? To get really anything out of it. We'll see how many Phoenix Firefly ends up building, because right now he can build a couple and they can start to harass a little bit, but there's this weird place where 1 or 2 Phoenix don't really do anything. But then, you know, 5 Phoenix is a lot of investment, even if they will start to kill some workers. So it's kind of a tough one to call. Is I'm going to get a bit aggressive as Firefly, but he shouldn't be able to do too much in this, although he will have a Phoenix lift to offset the numbers a little. Now he will be able to get rid of a Stalker, and actually both Stalkers. Oh my goodness.
This is really good, and I mean, this is just going to keep getting worse. And Firefly, he was a bit messy there. You saw what he was trying to do, but the second Phoenix comes in, and now damage will start to ensue. I mean, luckily for Nice, he does not have the energy on these Phoenix to keep on going, but this can be a very, very snowball effect here. Like, the Phoenixes are going to start stacking up, and you can only get out a certain number of Stalkers at this stage in the game.
Yeah, no, obviously 1 Stalker to 3 going down, and like you say, if the Phoenix numbers keep going up and you can't get enough Stalkers out, then you will genuinely fall into some troubles here. So issues perhaps abound, as a couple of Phoenix will continue to hold out the low ground, the pylon cancel. And it looks as though for the moment, Nice will indeed be stabilized. Of course, the moment he hits Blink, this game's going to be much better for him, but I think what we're starting to head towards is that Robo as well. Phoenix Immortal, it's actually a pretty strong comp. You lift up a few of the Stalkers, you let the Immortals do some trading after. Especially if you're just going to focus on shutting down Stalker count right now. That especially, I think, is very good for this from Firefly.
It was a very interesting... Like, I know you said a pylon cancel. I think it was a shield battery cancel, which kind of surprised me a little bit. But I guess the shield battery cancel doesn't keep your probes alive. But right now, that's not what he has to worry about. He has to worry about these Stalkers being kept alive, because Firefly's doing a real damn good job of just limiting how many Stalkers are on the field. And again, that Phoenix count keeps on growing. I don't know if he's going to stop at this point. I'd recommend not doing, just because, yeah, he rules the skies right now.
Yep, he rules the skies. 5 Stalkers killed already. Maybe now it's starting to get to enough Stalkers where we can't just lift up the Stalkers with the Phoenix. He's going to try those. The couple Stalkers are still down the ramp, so he is going to go for it. He does not lose a Phoenix. Oh my goodness. And now the Stalker count again, it snowballs so quickly. Maybe this time we lose a Phoenix. Surely this time we lose one. Finally gets the kill, but still, for 2 more Stalkers, I love what we're doing. These couple of deaths maybe don't actually want to be here. Stalkers will chase those down with the Blink as well to guarantee a kill.
And yeah, every time you leave your base, you know you're getting threatened, because these Phoenix are very, very mobile. And I mean, you need a good number of Phoenix, like a good 3 or so, just to make sure that you can kill probes in the main basin or the mineral lines. And by the way, Nice is the first one to take a third despite all this happening. And even though he's been the one losing more units, he does have a superior pro count. But you talked about it, that Protoss mech situation back at home. It is starting to escalate a little bit, and Pure Stalker does not fare super well against this mix.
No, it really doesn't. Yeah, I was kind of thinking on it as well. A faster third base, I guess it makes sense, because your opponent's not going to have the ability of Stalkers. The Phoenix can't do anything about the base, right? So I guess you can just get that base down and start to work on that advantage. So I do like that out of Nice. I think that's been a smart choice from him. These few Stalkers of Nice going to go back around the right side. Observer still coming up. Forge and a few more probes getting built. As we just have the Immortal and a couple extra gates on the way through.
Yeah, this game, though, I feel that Firefly could have made more out of it. Like, if he just kept on making the Phoenix, or, you know, kind of committed to something. The fact that he kind of stopped and now he's behind in probes and such, like, he's putting himself in a very all-in situation here, I feel.
Yeah, it almost feels weird to then drop the third Nexus down, right? Because, I mean, yeah. I guess he's just fully saturated on 2 bases, so he's going to sit down here, but I think I would have just preferred to see him send everything he can towards this fight, and let's see if it works. This hallucinated Immortal from Nice is not obviously real protection. If the Phoenix can lift up enough Stalkers, if these Immortals can get a chance to fight, there is an opportunity, as we do lose an Observer. That's a shame, because now you don't quite know what you're attacking into. Going to work around the left side and put ourselves on the third base. That will force the move out of Nice.
It absolutely will, and I mean, this is a good number of Immortals here, and oh, he does actually get kind of baited by that. Green battery overcharge goes up on the last battery as well. So nice fighting by Nice, and he's taking this super seriously. Great pickup with the Warp Prism, though. Again, keeps this Immortal alive, and he did gun for it, but he lost a lot of units going for it. He's going to lose a lot of probes as well, but I think Nice is probably able to take this fight here, Waddy.
Yeah, I actually think the probe pull is really smart, because there's nothing that really deals well with probes, right? Funnily enough, Stalkers and Immortals, if they're hitting probes, they're really wasting shots. So Nice does it. He knows he's been faster on the third base, perhaps, and that allows him to do this. As the Stalkers of Firefly, remember, they are blinkless, so they're just so much worse. And for Nice will chase him away. Up 9 workers still following all of this. Army supplies even, but Nice with 100% attack lead, because he has blink and he has charge right now.
Yeah, I mean, Nice has definitely been walking away with this game. Like, he's 53 probes versus 46, and yet he's the one that's lost 10 probes versus losing 1.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels so strange, and like, his tech's better, his army feels better right now. Like, it's not, in fact, does it feel better? I mean, it's definitely more stocky, and he has the better infrastructure online and an earlier third. Yeah, Nice got himself out of a very, very tricky position against a fairly standard one-gate expansion opening with the Phoenix, but he got away with it somehow. And I think it's just because Firefly wasn't as shameless with the production as he maybe could have been.
Yeah. I agree in a big way, as these couple of Phoenix will continue around in that main base for a little bit. Blink's still coming up. Gateway's still coming through. And that Temple Archives and the Zealot continuing to build up as well. So all of that being brought in. A +1 attack upgrade not far from finishing here on the side of Nice. There's a couple of Phoenix Stalkers joining up from Firefly. At least he's about to have his blink, right? So we're about to see him with that blink. We'll see what he can do. I mean, army supplies are still fairly similar. It's Nice, remember, will have, if nothing else, the ability to kind of chunk away with Immortals and also use those charge lots as a front line for this.
This is getting spicy. Both of them are looking to deal damage. They're both in the exact same spot on the opposite sides of the map, though. Firefly is the first one to launch the attack, but Nice's army definitely kills bases faster, but getting on the pylons here, stopping the warp-ins,
yeah, huge.
This is a really big deal.
Yep, every warp-in you stop right now is a potential difference of, well, just a lot of different units, right? So this is a big deal. If Nice can, or Firefly can just take himself an extra warp-in or so, that could change everything. The probes are running away from Firefly. He's got a lot of money to spend, so he can rebuild on the other side of the map if he wants to. His own gateway is now pretty much being fully depowered. Army supplies sitting slightly in favor of Nice, and you mentioned it. In terms of like a fighting army, it is Nice's army which is better in quality as well. As well, maybe not so much if he loses some of these Zealots for free, which in theory against Stalkers with Blink should happen. So these Zealots will go down. They chased a bit too far, and that's really good for Firefly because it's going to knock some of the army supply away from Nice.
And I tell you what, this game, I did like Nice's army in a straight-up fight a lot more, but this amount of Stalkers, Wardy, 24-8, I mean, that's a scary number, especially combined with these Phoenix that can lift up that power unit, the Immortal. In fact, he just lost another set of units there in the north there. This is getting way too close, but Nice is still mining.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little sneaky probe that's going to go power up all those gateways in his main base and stuff. This is crazy.
Yeah, Firefly has to go right now. He's not wrong with what he's doing because he has to make something happen. He sees the recall. He will try and get a couple units. He did get those two in the front that were hurt. Now he's got to go straight back across the map, though. He's got to take advantage of the fact that he's killed a lot of units and just go. If he stops, his opponent's going to have warp-ins, and his opponent's going to have a lot of warp-ins too. He has money. You already see a few Stalkers, a Zealot, and Immortal being warped in. That's only going to get worse. But also going to play with the batteries. I mean, this is wild.
Wardy, this game's so funny. He started making a Nexus at Nice's natural, like, 3rd/4th base, and if he cancels it, he doesn't have enough to make another one. Yeah. Like, he has to keep that Nexus alive so damn badly here, and oh, this is a crazy game. Absolutely crazy.
This is going to be tough because you got the Prism Micro to deal with as well. Oh, that one Immortal came in from the side. If Firefly had seen it at a different point, he might have been able to do something. Whoa, I don't like nice chase, and I don't feel like he should be chasing at all. I feel like chasing is going to potentially put him in trouble. I know we still potentially have some warp-ins, and there are the warp-ins coming through. The Stalkers, though, will cancel the warp-in. This allows this fight to continue in Firefly's favor for a little bit longer. Is it enough? We are going to lift one more Stalker up with a Phoenix, and at the moment, Firefly is overwhelming.
I mean, those Stalkers, it's 24 probes to 0 right now, so that just shows you how big Firefly's army is in comparison, and his army, very microable as well. Like, any Immortals that pop out to deal with these Stalkers, they can get lifted up, they can get shot down. I mean, this is actually so damn spicy.
Oh my goodness, the Phoenix getting chased for a little bit. Firefly continues to run away. Stalker's going down as well, though. I don't think the income of Nice is enough to really make up for the amount of units he's losing. GG, Firefly gets it done.